Hello. Welcome to the show. We do have a great matchup. Hopefully, coming your way. It is alternate attacks. The German side coming up against the Poles, XCOM AGO. We'll see who's going to be able to get the better of each other in the pist around here. We do have the best of three, and it is Mirage. As you can see, with alternate attacks starting things out on their CT side. Crystal. Just jiggling that window. Quite a heavy presence from alternate attacks towards mid, in fact. But it is going to be the A site that AGO are going to decide to push instead. And I'll get that bomb down nice and dandy. 5-on-5 retake required now for the CTs. And with the push towards CT from the Poles, Skunk might be able to find some damage here. A nice flashbang from Crystal to assist with that. And they're actually going to get a second as well. Nice work from AGO, or sorry, rather from alternate attacks, to get themselves in towards CT position towards the ticket booth. And now it's up to Furlan with this P250 to make plays, and by golly he will. 2 quick kills with a P250. Stefan is around though, and it's quick kills all around for alternate attacks to close that one down. They have the kit, they have the defuse, and they will have the round. So starts out well for alternate attacks here, and this is the AGO map pick as well. They are going to force into things and try and get themselves back into the game early on here. And a nice way to do that. Furlan will take down Panics over in the window. The scout eliminated. So 5-on-4, and AGO, they have options from this position now. They've got a decent amount of control towards mid. Obviously they have to deal with Crystal still, who's just dropped in towards the window from ladder room. And there's also Crimbo over by just outside connector in a jungle. He'll be making sure that there's not going to be any easy route in towards this A site from connector. And he's even going to catch Reitz with a nade in his hand. Nice frag to find. Crystal's going to double that up. As the alternate attack swing things back in their favor, going nicely as they pitch away these AGO players, leaving just Fiku alive. The bomb dropped, but he has been able to salvage it. 1 versus 3. That isn't going to work out. Crimbo will bring him to an end, and alternate attacks, they do manage to recover in the 4-on-5 there. Good work. Now, alternate attacks, they have a good chance here to try and pick up a bit of extra cash for themselves. They lost a couple plays in that previous round, and with an opening already going their way, Kimbo's out in the open. He needs to be careful he doesn't get caught as he does dart away into connector. He's going to launch the nade towards top mid. The double nade, in fact, will deal with the last 2 remaining players who were huddled up there for warmth, trying to protect themselves from the aerial bombardment, but that's not going to work out. And alternate attacks, a clean third. 5 players survived for them. Very nicely done. Aim volume up. Look me. Right, I've turned it up a bit. Hope that helps. You know, Nexus, you're the first person to complain, but I'll let you off, because you are Nexus. XCOM AGO, they've got quite a lot of forward position already. Got Furlan already in towards the connector. A smoke down towards the top. Will allow his team to push short if that's the avenue they choose. There's an avenue for them opened up. As Panics was going a little bit aggressive towards the A ramp, he gets caught out by Fiku, and that's a nice opening that AGO have been able to acquire just by playing this one slowly and allowing alternate attacks to make that first mistake. Skunk now going to try and refrag, and he will be able to. Gets the kill, now has control of ramp, even going to upgrade to the AK-47 before he scurries out there. This is weird now. Furlan in a good position as long as Crystal isn't able to catch him off, and that's exactly what Crystal does. Deals with Furlan. That's the thorn in the alternate attack's backside dealt with, and these kills falling in one by one here. Crimbo securing another. It leaves just Reitz and Snatchy. Both of them posted up, hoping to push in towards his A site. 2 players on the other side of this smoke waiting for them. Skrunk towards the sandwich, and with Crystal over by the ticket booth. 15 seconds on the clock. The AGO side are actually going to bail out of this one. They're just going to save these last 2 weapons, the AK and the AWP, and carry them into the next round, which is a solid call. Loss bonus building up for AGO. They won't get a full buy around this, I don't think. They could go for a decent buy here. He could get himself an AK, a couple of Galeals for the other players. That won't be too bad. But they do just decide to go for a few upgraded pistols. Snatchy actually investing, well, that's the issue. He's dropped the AWP over towards Rarlan. He himself didn't have cash. They're just going for a initial peek. That's fair enough. Just drop the AWP back over to Snatchy. And already an opening kill for alternate attacks in this one. Leaves the AGO side open to claw back. An equalising frag, which isn't going to be looking likely, but a nice shot from Fiku. Crimbo was even anticipating the jump across from Fiku. Not just holding the angle, holding the jumped angle. And he didn't even need to move his crosshair for that shot. Nicely done. Keeps all attacks in the advantage. And now, these last 3 plays from AGO, huddled in towards mid, hoping to find an avenue. But right now, Reach with that AK-47, Snatch with the AWP. They've still got weaponry, AGO. Rarlan with a Deagle, the limiting factor, as well as the manpower that they are lacking. 45 seconds. There is time, at least, for them to work in towards this site, try and clear all their angles out. The smoke behind them, connector. Maybe to try and fake that it's going to be a short push, but that flashbang will give the jig up. And Crimbo close range here. Might be able to deny this here. If he can take down Reitz, that's the round done already. He's even going to find Rarlan. It's actually the last player alive. Spotted out. Low HP. That nade might just finish him off. He's left with 25. Having to tuck away. That's a nice shot to find the first. Those are the second player on the site. Now, he can play around this bomb. Oh, he's even going to get Stefan behind. Fully blinded, but Crystal is there quickly for the refrag and alternate attacks. They do lose a couple of players there in the end. Not the cleanest after Crimbo finds those 2, but they get the round. That's all they really mattered there. As AGO, they're not going to have enough for Snatchy in this one. Unless maybe Furlan drops a weapon over. Galil or something. Actually been dropped the AWP by Rarlan. He's dropped an AK into Rarlan's hands himself. That makes sense. That would make sense as to why Snatchy didn't have any money. Yeah. that does explain things there. I was in a state of confusion. We'd have had a player drop out from the server for a moment. Hopefully he'll be hopping it straight back in. It is Reitz who is reconnected now. But a 5-0 start for alternate attacks here, and this is the AGO map pick as well. So alternate attacks in a good position. If they can get off to or keep these rounds chugging along, limiting AGO just to a few, that would be splendid on the CT side. Obviously, picking up a good start on the opponent's map pick doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be able to close out the map. There's still a long way to go, but it is a good start. As we get back into things, Rarlan building an AK, hoping for an opening towards the B apartments. Nothing's going to be offered up, though. Attax has actually been able to squeeze himself into the apartments and deals with Reitz. Gets clipped by the AWP. Bolton attacks yet again. Going to have themselves that opening kill. No refrag available from AGO to try and stem the bleeding here. But look at Ryland's position. This is good. It wasn't until he got caught by Stefan watching the unbroken vent. Shoots through it, takes down Ryland. Removes the threat from the map. And then there were three. AGO just being picked off one by one in so many of these rounds. That smoke makes things a little bit more difficult. The kill from Crimbo definitely makes things more difficult, as this round is surely coming to an end. Fiku, the last player alive, he's spotted out, and with just 20 HP, his time is surely going to be coming to an end very, very shortly. And it is Crystal. Close out the final frag. Bolton attacks post a 6. And these rounds from AGO just very lacking at the moment. Not really anything interesting being done. Getting picked off early on. No opportunities for trade kills. I was expecting more from AGO. There's still time for them to pull things back. It could be something quick towards the B site here. With this limited weaponry. They've got a Mac 10, a couple Deagles, a P250, a Tech 9. We'll see what may come of this. They are going to push their way through the apartments. That Molotov from Crystal should do quite a bit of damage, but he needs to be careful because these Mac 10s, or the pistols as well, they are finding a lot of damage, and this B site crumbles. Only one kill found from Panics, and he wasn't even the B site defender. Grimbo's should manage to shift himself in, and he is finding lots of kills. Make it only the 2 before he was quickly dealt with by Snatchy, P250, and unable to collect that kill, and Snatchy's actually going to go aggressive. He thinks better of it. The smoke hiding players on the other side, but Snatchy, as it fades, he's able to deal with Skrunk, leaving just Panics with 8 HP and an AWP towards short. And he's just going to have to bail out of there, and somehow AGO, they shift up what they've been doing. They go for just a concerted effort towards that B site, and they manage to pick it apart, finding a weakness. No kills found whatsoever on that B site defense. First round posted for AGO, but is that just a flash in the pan? Or is that going to be something more that AGO can build on? A bit of a lifeline, you could say. Bolton attacks, they have the cash to rebuy, and they have done so. The one-man, two-man push towards the underground tunnel here. Panics is going to be watching deep towards the B side with the AWP. Does have his teammate Rimbo to assist him. He'll shift positions, but Panics, is he going to spot anything towards mid? This push is coming in towards the B site now. Stefan, he finds a kill. That's the opening. But coming from behind, there's Crimbo. He can't get any of them. He does a lot of damage, both Snatchy and Rarlan low. But as they push further forward, Furlan's been able to lock down the site. He will eventually have to fall away and will get taken down by Crystal. But it doesn't matter when AGO somehow, in a myriad of confusion and chaos, pull away a second. Crimbo should have had that round dead to rights. That was not what should have happened in that one. Crimbo coming in for the flank, the opening frag already going the alternate attack's way. Somehow AGO pull themselves out of the hole. And I would be favouring alternate attacks for this matchup anyway. Already got themselves a win in the Premier season, but this is the same setup from last round. Panics, he gets the first with the AWP. Crimbo not able to find anything else. That is until Rarlan goes for the repeat and will get caught for it. Alternate attacks, they secure a 2-man advantage. There's Fiku and Snatchy alive. Make that just Fiku alive. Maybe you could find some damage here. If you can limit the economy for alternate attacks going forward, that would definitely help them out. As you can see, just a couple $100 for every player here. But Crimbo, as Fiku walk into his crosshair, back turned, easiest kill of his life. As alternate attacks have some time. It is 7-2. The bounce back after a couple rounds from AGO. A couple... not shocking. A couple confusing rounds, let's call them, from AGO. AGO are definitely going to need more than this on their own map pick to try and bring a air of worry over the attack side. Because Ultimate Attax, they already have a win in Esea Premier for the season. They took down... who did they take down? Oh no, my memory's failed me. I know that AGO, they lost to Anonimo in that Polish matchup yesterday. Oh, and Attax, they already have a win under their belt, and with Scrunk pushing forwards, he's able to deal with Fiku. Nice kill to find, and that's a lot of control towards Palace as well. That's going to hamper AGO in any post-plant situation. Crystal, he was looking for intel, but all he's found is a shallow grave. 3 players remain for Ultimate Attax, but there's still that player up in Palace as they bring it into a 3-on-3. Crimbo, he shows his face. Bomb not yet planted. Stefan's here and steps towards the B side. It's only Rallen who's all on his lonesome. No bomb with him. The bomb is over towards that B site. But that nade is a godsend for AGO. It deals with Crimbo, eliminates one of these threats, and with the low HP and caught out in the open, Furlan needs to be careful about that one, but Snatchy still has opportunities. A one-on-one as he deals with Scrunk, and he's going to go for the peak. He's going to go for the fight, and he will serve up AGO a 3rd round. Again, difficult rounds coming through from AGO, but rounds all the same. Comes down to a 1v2 for Snatchy. He's capable of collecting it. A little bit disjointed on the Ultimate Attax side there. Maybe the player Palace just needs to chill out a little bit more. Doesn't need to go for any sort of fight in that position. Just needs to wait for his teammate to get a little bit closer towards the site, and then they can pinch it together. And surely give themselves as much chance as possible for the refrag. There's that timeout for AGO in the previous round, working out well for them. But pistols for Ultimate Attax could still do damage. Players have been tagged down low. Fiku is the one who finds an opening kill. That is what matters right now. XCOM AGO, they could take 99 damage on every single one of their players. But it'd still be 5 players surviving. And it would have no impact on the economy of the game. Bomb does get planted. AGO, they fall back into some post-plant positions, setting themselves up for what should be a pretty mundane after-plant here. Shouldn't really be much in the way of surprises. Fiku's going to collect himself another kill. And Ultimate Attax, they are actually just going to bail out this one. No kit, no real chance to even attempt this. 5 players to find. Admittedly, a lot of damage done. As I said, that really does not matter. There's a 4th on the board for AGO. They're starting to pull themselves back into this. They've got another chance here to keep their economy in a strong position. Obviously, the 5 players surviving in that previous round do allow them to build up a bit of cash in reserves there. Reitz has got himself up to 4k. On Ultimate Attax, they will just make do with the limited weaponry that they saved from that previous round. MP9 for Crystal and a couple pistols, alongside the default USPs for Crimbo and Scrunk. So this should be a 5th for AGO. Not really any worry about this falling into Ultimate Attax's hands. Very slow approach from AGO. A minute on the clock. As the first kill comes through. Rallen. Let's deal with Scrunk towards that A site. Not one attack. They've actually got 3 players over towards A. Make that 2 as Panics falls. Snapty just picking up a couple kills for himself here on the AWP. Very quickly deal with this B site defense as well. It was just Stefan. Oh, just Stefan. Just able to, you know, not really. Well, they've not even taken any damage, AGO, so they've just been able to cleanly collect this round, and no worries whatsoever with that. Crystal's even just going to get spammed through the wall towards the stairs. That's fair. Does mean the round comes to a quicker end. So there's that bonus for us. To get into the 13th round. Only 3 rounds left in this half. It could still be AGO coming away with the lead at halftime. Alternate Attax only making it to 7 in their flurry of rounds, but with a very aggressive assault towards this B site from the AGO side. It's 2 very quick kills and a 6th round secured. Alternate Attax are already going for the save. Scrunk couldn't escape from Snatch's AWP. And you know what I said earlier? I mentioned how Alternate Attax, even if they have a good like half here, it is still AGO's map pick, and there's plenty of opportunities for AGO to pull themselves back into this one. It's not going to be a foregone conclusion by any stretch. Now Alternate Attax are starting to learn that. Is AGO going to be sitting just 1 round behind them coming into the final stages of this half? Frimbo, he can't stay alive for much longer. Did manage to take at least 1 down with him. But it is just Stefan hiding over towards the palace. He'll be fine to stay alive from that position. For Alternate Attax, this is going to be another round that they can't really fight on. They'll have that M4 save for Stefan. Crimpo's got 16 kills, by the way. That is mental. So, yeah, Alternate Attax, you sort of want the rest of your team to start banning some frags to help them out here as things start to get a little bit more tetchy for the Germans. But maybe some damage can be found with this limited buy from Alternate Attax. A few Deagles purchased, that M4 obviously coming in from the previous round. But AGO going to set their sights towards this B side of the map. And it is only Scrunk, and that's a missed smoke from AGO. Terrible. Somebody needs to head back to the practice server just to practice their lineups, but hopefully it'll be no harm, no foul. As it is the limited weaponry for Alternate Attax that shouldn't be able to find all too much here. With Panics being dropped early, Scrunk taking a hefty chunk of damage. He'll be falling very, very quickly there. That is the B site. They'll snap out the rotates here. 1 by 1, all these Alternate Attax players falling. Leaving it all up to Crimbo. 1 versus 5. Deagle, no armor. His outcome is already defined. It's just a matter of time. And we didn't have to wait much of it. 7-7. 1 final round of this half as one of these teams is going to have themselves the lead for halftime. I think XCOM AGO would be very, very happy at this point to be coming into the second half with a round lead, considering they were, what, 6-0 down at the start? 7-1, 7-2 down as well. But Alternate Attax, they brought themselves some double AWPs. Stefan going to be wielding that secondary AWP. Might be the difference maker here for Alternate Attax. As Scrunk keep picks up an opening kill from the balcony. Fiku just walking through that smoke that was deployed. Not a very smart tactic. Crimbo and Panics, they're able to find a couple kills as well as Alternate Attack's finally going to be able to stem the bleeding here. Agio, just 2 players left alive, a 2v5. It'd be a miracle if Reitz and Marlin could close this one down. I do have time to play with, though. Agio, 45 seconds on the clock. Looks like they're just going to regroup over towards the ramp. They do have the bomb. Ralen's got his mitts on that one. But as they start to push forward, Crimbo will make his presence known. Gets himself a second kill in the round. And now it leaves all towards Reitz, who can't elude Panics. And it is Alternate Attacks who sniff away an 8th to end out the first half. They will switch over to the T side with that solitary round lead. At least denying Agio that. But of course, do remember this is the Agio map pick, so Alternate Attacks picking this one up here could lead to a very swift 2-0 in this series. My chair has a bit of squeak. Been burning that midnight oil. A very sedate round, sedate game so far, in fact. It's been generally Agio either sort of got a couple kills to open up the round into one of the sites quickly, generally the B site, and then Alternate Attacks just saved, or it was Alternate Attacks just picking off players one by one to win the round. Going to be a fast push towards this B site to start out the second half, with Alternate Attacks able to find that first kill. Crimbo, he's going to be able to double himself up, in fact, as well. Has Stefan for a bit of assistance as they do bring themselves into a man advantage. But Fiku, he's there to end Crimbo's life, looking for a little bit more. Knows where Stefan is, but now Fiku, the last player alive, has to find 2, and his leg spotted out. Crystal trying to tap away at him, does a little bit of damage. Makes it easier for the Glock of Stefan to find a quick headshot. And it will come through. Alternate Attacks, they secure a 9th. They secure a pistol round for that second half. And a pause to be called as well. There's Alternate Attacks. All in the pause. Technical pause. Sure what the issue is, but hopefully we'll be getting going in a couple of minutes here. Interesting to note, Crimbo with 21 frags, 9 deaths. That's pretty banging. However, if you look at the AGO side, their max is 12 kills. So the round disparity is huge, or the kill disparity between these two teams is pretty huge, considering there's only a 2-round lead for Alternate Attacks. And yeah, you could, I mean, it sort of comes down to the fact that when AGO were winning rounds, they were getting those like 1 or 2 openings, kills, and then collecting maybe a kill or 2 more on players trying to save from the Alternate Attack side. So XCOM AGO generally weren't getting as many kills in those rounds as Alternate Attacks, where they were getting that high impact opening that was winning them around. Whereas Alternate Attacks, they were just picking off players one by one for the majority of the rounds they won, which I guess sort of explains why Crimbo has such a high fragging output in this game, considering the scoreline being so level and the sort of kills between the rest of the players being as they are. Alternate Attack should have themselves a 10th there. Should get themselves into that double-digit number. The number 10. Numero 10. Don't know if that's right or not. Probably not. I'm assuming Spanish for 10 is not 10. So... Eagles shouldn't really be able to find much. Although, some cheeky angles around the smoke here does allow Furlan the first. There's a second player with the smoke that Crimbo has an inkling about. Rollin, he's still going to be able to find a kill before Crimbo eventually sniffs him out. And a lot of damage done by AGO here. They've got him to 2 kills. Crystal and Stefan, they're both one-shottable by the Deagle to the body. There goes Reeks with his. Deals with Stefan. And can pick up a scout as well that was laying on the floor. So, dangerous situation. But over towards the kitchen, it is going to be Crystal dealing with Fico. And they now know where this last player is. Reitz. Surely not going to be able to close this one out. A scout and a deagle. He's going to be wielding the deagle for obvious reasons here as he pushes in towards the site of smoke, covering his advance. Can he find one of these players? Not initially. And with that first shot going wayward, Crystal is able to quickly close him down, take him down, and secure Altman Attacks that 10th. But a few kills found. Not the end of the world for Altman Attacks. It does limit their economy a little bit further, but with AGO having this full eco coming through in the next round, they've got this chance now to remedy that situation, to get themselves that reserve cash just to try and sustain a loss if they need it. And it's a very aggressive push towards the ramp that's going to net Skrunk a triplet. 3 kills on the Mac 10, a healthy $1,800 earned for him. Panix is going to try and get him a bit of that as well. Bit of that green. As the bomb will get planted over towards B. Panix starts to close out these last 2 players, and he will do so. So all the kills there for Altman Attacks on those Mac 10s. Very nicely done. Obviously, $600 for the Mac 10 kills compared to a rifle's $300. You generally want to be farming those eco frags. Helps to inflate your economy a bit more, and they do so nicely. As you can see, they've got a nice little buffer behind them. They'll be able to sustain a loss if they need. So AGO going to have to win a couple in a row here if they want to fight back into this game before things get a little bit desperate for them on their own map pick. The AGO side, they have gone for the full buy. And the alternate attacks pause does come to an end. We'll be getting going. Snatchy, he has an AWP. It's a few M4s, an AUG for Rarlin. I like the sort of composition of a few M4s and a single AUG that can play a bit more situationally. As opposed to either all 4, well, as opposed to all 4 AUGs. I feel like the M4 is a more versatile weapon. The AUG definitely has a lot of strengths, and if used in the correct positions, can definitely have a lot of advantages over using an M4. So I like having one AUG. It's currently positioned in towards mid. I think that's a fair position to wield it. Whether or not it'll have an opportunity to find action this round is yet to be seen. Very, very slow approach from Altman Attacks here. I almost thought I'd missed something in the game, or something had happened. It felt like it had been so long since anything had gone on. But no, it is Altman Attacks slowly working their way in towards mid, looking for a crunch towards the A site. Snapchy will initially find AGO an advantage, but it's short-lived with Stefan on the refrag. That Galil Finding a kill. Rarland's Org now makes its presence known. It will find action this round, and it finds the bomb carrier. That's an awkward position for alternate attack. Scrunk trying to go back to salvage it, but it's going to cost him his life as well. Crimbo has been able to work in towards the B site. Finds a kill on Furlan, but it all means nothing when the bomb's down mid and there's 5 seconds on the clock. So Panics and Crimbo, they'll save their weapons, but it is going to be AGO winning out the first gun round of this half. Nicely done. Rather than with that Org in mid, finding the couple kills required. Leaves a bit of life into their legs. Their lungs, rather. They both begin with an L. I was close enough. Anatomy is hard. But as I mentioned prior, alternate attacks, they had a bit of cash in reserve. They had enough to sustain a loss. So AGO, this is the second round required for them to break alternate attacks' economy. Scrunk finds a lot of damage early on. Reeds getting shut down to 42 HP. That nade, oh, it makes contact with Crystal, and that gives up the jig to Fiku, who just sprays through the smoke, finds the kill. Rarland's going to find one of his own as well, and that damage onto Reeds means nothing now when it's a 2-man disadvantage. Make it free. Furlan up towards the palace. He's got an advanced position. He's going to be able to upgrade off of that MP9 as well into the AK-47. And another round going to be going the way of AGO. Unless Panics and Crimbo together can find something miraculous. Now it's going to be going their ways. Panics surely going to get caught here. Furlan does do the deed. The job is done. And now it's Crimbo. His position is known. He's just chucked a HE out. The bomb is over towards Palace. So AGO not really going to be too worried about what Crimbo's up to. He can just lock off the avenues towards that bomb. Make sure he's got no chance of finding anything here. Make sure they refrag if he does go for some. But he's going to get up on top of the... What are they called? Refrigerators? The cooling shells? Refrigerated shells? Whatever you want to call them. He gets on top of them in the market. His feet going to be getting a little bit chilly, I think. Maybe it's not even plugged in. Who knows? Electricity's probably gone out in this place by now. All the food's gotten spoiled. Wouldn't want to be going to that market myself. But AGO, they do break the economy now of alternate attacks. That AK saved through for the alternate attack side. It's going to be at least somewhat of a of something for them to use. And he's just going to go aggressive in through mid. He's going to be able to find anything. A nade hits him. He's managed to get himself into connector though. So nice position. I feel like AGO will probably know he's in that location. They'll be able to watch for him. As the rest of the alternate attack side now gather in mid as well. Hoping to find an AGO player out in the open. It's Crimbo who makes first contact, dealing a considerable amount of damage onto Fiku, but not expecting the peek from Rarland. He will fall, and that's the single rifle gun for alternate attacks. Nobody in position to recover that either. Means that it's going to be up to these two Deagles, a MAC-10 and a Glock, for alternate attacks to find anything from this as they try and get themselves in towards this A site. Crystal on the Deagle might find a shot, doesn't. Reeds is good for his shot, and he's even going to find a second. Panics with a Glock. Can he find anything? Probably not. The final two players will fall for the alternate attack side, and it's now AGO into double digits. They close the gap. It's back to just a one-round deficit. And it's most likely, pretty much guaranteed, that it'll be AGO onto 11 here as well, tying the game up. No armor for alternate attacks, a few upgraded pistols. Let's see what it brings. Looks like it's probably going to be a quick hit towards the A site, and we can get this round out of the way and move on to the next gun round. Yeah, very, very nicely done. AGO mopped that one up with great efficiency. And it's all tied up. Squeaky chair. Squeaky bums for alternate attacks who've had a lot of advantage in this game. But now it's Agio starting to power back into it. We'll see if alternate attacks will be able to find some more of their mustard in this next gun round. It's 4 AKs, the AWP for Panics. Rahman might be able to find an opening towards the underground. He's gone deep. There's a player around the corner. That nade going to do a decent amount of damage, but Rahman will take a lot himself, and that nade will finish him off. Nice work from Crystal. Find alternate attacks that opening. Rahman brought out without support. Wasn't able to win the initial exchange. Will pay the price for it. The refrag will get it, but only for a moment. He's going to be caught out himself. Crimbo, that's a 25th frag for him. 25 kills in 23 rounds. Not a bad stat to have. That tick damage will definitely be heard by alternate attacks. That Molotov chipping a little bit of damage away from Fern. You can see how Crimbo shifts his aim towards that laddering position. He will deal with Furlan. Panics is going to find another, and it's all up towards Reitz, who can't get anything done. The A site crumples under the weight of alternate attacks, and 12 on the board for them. They'll deny Agio the lead. Agio haven't had the lead once in this map. That's how it's gone so far for the Poles. It is their map pick as well, so they'll definitely be hoping they can change that stat at some point. Preferably when it puts them onto 16. Or even 15, rather. As it is a pause for AGO. Open. That they can figure out how they stop alternate attacks from getting even further away from them yet again. They do have cash. They've got that full buy up. It's double ups. Fiku and Snatchy might be the winning formula for AGO here. They do have cash in reserve as well. Decent economy if they need to. But they might be able to muster up a buy in the next round as well. And that'd have to be 3 in a row in total for the alternate attack side to break AGO. And that's pretty impressive considering AGO didn't find that many in a row. It was 4 in a row for them to find 11. Snatchy will pick off Crystal, trying to get in towards that window position. Nice find. Eliminates a threat in that angle, and now they can focus more towards short and connector. But it's going to be Crimbo finding a lot of damage, and that nade might finish off Fiku. It surely will. Yes, it does. Fiku dunked down. That's the AWP gone. Rollins still about, and that AUG, long range, the scoped weapon, does good damage, deals with Scrunk, and puts AGO back in that advantage. Reitz, fully blinded by the flashbang, can't find the shots, but it's Furlan who'll get it instead. It's going to be Crimbo, a huge save for his teammate. Doesn't matter as a nade comes flying through anyway to finish off Panics. And Crimbo is going to have to fall away. Maybe he darts over towards his B site. Snatchy's read that. He's going to be rotating over. He's going to try and stop Crimbo in his tracks. But actually, Crimbo, he's going to move in towards mid instead. Now, going to shift his way in towards short B. 10 seconds on the clock. He needs to either cross quickly or deal with Snatchy quickly. Steps made. He's going to be able to elude the shot. Snatchy's going to push forward, knowing he has to stick it. Come Crimbo, get out of danger. Yes, he can. Snatchy not going to push too far forward. Crimbo looking for the shot. Spots Snatchy out and takes him down. That's one less threat. Snatchy maybe overstepping a little bit there, makes things a little bit more difficult for AGO as the two remaining players are going to push in through Shark. Crimbo hears that, and he's going to find a second shot. Not much ammo left and doesn't spot Furlan. He'll take him down. It's an expensive round, courtesy of Crimbo's 4 kills. It was almost the ace. Almost a 1v3. But AGO just about managed to tie this game up again. Also, just in case you haven't realised, if you're giving out spoilers in the chats, you're going to be getting 900-second timeouts. So, think about that before you start spoiling the game for people. Even if people are asking, there's people in the chat who don't want it. So, if you wanna spoil the game for yourself, go find out. Go find out the scores. Or else you can enjoy a timeout. And if you keep doing it, I'll probably just ban you, to be honest. My channel, my rules. Because there's definitely people who do not want to be finding out. Now, the opening kill for Alton Attax in this one. He's going to try and answer back, and he will. Nice shot with the AWP. Deals with Stefan, but Reitz, he's going to be caught out by Skrunk, who's going to be collapsing in towards this A site from that ramp position. It's just Fiku and Rala remaining. A shot through the box. Does connect onto Crimbo. Won't land the kill, though. Do they even go for this, the AGO side? Do they save their weapons instead? They have a bit of cash in reserve. They can buy up around these saved weapons if they do keep both of them alive, but with a wrap in towards mid coming through, and Panic's looking to try and find Fiku, which he will do. Somehow collects the headshot there through the wall. Rallen's been able to deal with the threat from behind him. He's now the last player alive, and 2T is going to be chasing him. He's able to salvage an AWP out of this round, which will definitely help him in the next round. But it's going to be Alton Attax once again denying AGO the lead. 13 on the board for them. A pause coming through. This is for Alton Attax. It is a... Oh, sorry, it's an AGO pause. Crimbo's on 30 kills. That is mental. The next highest in the server is Rallen on 17. The next highest on Crimbo's team is 15 for Skrunk. He is 13 kills ahead of anybody else on his team. Or 13 kills ahead of anyone else on the server after 25 rounds of play. I believe we also have a short tech pause here as well. Coming through. Hopefully it won't be too long. I believe it's an Alton Attax issue, so... We'll be getting back going shortly. Just time out some people in the chat for spoiling the game. Alton Attax pushing this first map to the very limit here. AGO really need to find this round. If they don't, things are going to get very, very desperate. It'll be probably 15 for Alton Attax before AGO will bring themselves a new buy-in. But AGO's map pick is looking very sketchy. This could definitely be a 2-0 for alternate attacks if things do not pick up for AGO. They've got the AWP up of Snatchy, a few rifles. It's a FAMAS for Furlan. Not the best weaponry, a spattering of utility across the board for them. A single kit purchased. Hopefully either Snatchy or Rarlan buy one. Hopefully Snatchy does. He has a bit of extra cash in reserve for himself. Do get back into things. Crystal, he's only got a Mac 10. Looks like it's by choice. Could have had a FAMAS dropped over to him. But he'll roll with the Mac 10 for now. Perhaps something aggressive going to be coming through on that weapon. Maybe he could upgrade it off of a dead teammate or an opponent, something like that. So it's not too much of a factor. The one these towards Van, not going to collect anything for the alternate attack side. But for AGO, I mean, I think Snatchy will have spotted out those two nades coming flying through. Nice setup towards the A site here for AGO. Very heavy A setup as well. They've got two players in towards Dark and Sandwich to play a bit of a crossfire here, as well as two more towards Connector who can quickly double back in towards a site to support those two primary A defenders. Very slow start to this round for alternate attacks, then looks like they are now going to position themselves towards this A side. It's going to be an absolute brawl by the looks of things. Utility starts to come through. 30 seconds on the clock. Fiku's going to drop a smoke. And that is horrible for alternate attacks. Do you push through it with 20 seconds left? Fiku's going to be taking a lot of damage. He's down to just 11 HP, trying to get away, but Skrunk's nade will deal with Reed. Stefan's going to be finding Fiku. Furlan is still in towards the site, and he captured Crystal, nade in hand. He's only going to be able to find the one, as Skrunk is able to trade it out, but it looks like alternate attacks are good for 14. Snatchy, he gets picked off by the AWP of Panics. And it is just Rarlan now, 1 versus 4. Surely has to save this weapon, has to give his team any chance they possibly can in the next round. It's going to be 14-12. XCOM AGO, they aren't really going to have much money. They'll have a bit of loss bonus coming in. They'll have that AUG saved. But it's looking like it's going to be 15 a map point for alternate attacks on the map pick of AGO. Things are looking so sketchy there as well for alternate attacks. What was it? 30 seconds on the clock. Fiku deployed a smoke. It ended up being like 20 seconds before they properly pushed through. AGO giving a lot up there. Obviously, Fiku tried to go a bit more aggressive to catch them pushing through the smoke. Instead, he just gets spammed down, gets pretty much killed. His teammates get naded down in dark. With Rarlan downing, or getting downed immediately in this round. Snatchy's going to switch over to that AUG. Hope that he can do a little bit better with it. That made a lot of damage and a follow-up as well. Snatchy's left on 20 HP. Furlan got a taste of it as well. He's on 70. An aggression from Reach should get punished by Stefan here, and it will. Quick AK headshot. Clean kill. And only 3 more to find for alternate attacks. They crusade their way to 15 on the board. Never know though, maybe there can be some sort of stoic miracle defense towards his P side. They have gone for the stack. The Deagle, the AUG, the Scout. There goes the AUG. The Eagle does find one from Fiku. But now, alternate attacks, they know those last 2 players are in that position. They're just going to head straight towards that A site. No worries about players. They know where the last 2 are. And AGO, they're just going to try and save that org into the next round. They'll catch an AK as well. That's pretty decent going into the next round, considering Fiku has pretty much no cash. He'll need a weapon dropped over to him if they don't save these. But it is going to be 15 to 12. And AGO need to find themselves a second wind here in this first map. AK and the org save now. Just going to time out a few more people in the chat. The pause does come through for AGO this one. You can't blame them. You can't blame them. It is 12 to 15. 3 rounds in a row required. Can the Poles do it? Can they overthrow what has looked like German supremacy in this first map? Oh, don't have to wait long to find out. It is going to be us heading into what could potentially be the final round here. 15 to 12. AGO, they need this to stay alive. They need 3 in a row to force this to overtime. It's going to be aggression from Reitz up towards top mid. He spots out some heads. But he has to fall away. Can't try and push for that angle. The flashbang is good. It ends up going in AGO's favor. A team kill from Crimbo. Not what he wanted. It's just Scrunk and Panics alive, last 2. As this round was over in the blink of an eye there. Maybe with the AWP, Panics, he spots out the first, but the scout, or the scope noise does give him up. Furlan's able to pick off that shot, and it's just Scrunk now left alone, a 1 versus 4. Looking at the massacre in mid. He has the bomb, and he has a minute to play with. He could find some damage here. That would help out his team in the next coming rounds if they can keep the economy at least limited for AGO. Make sure they're not going to have their comfortable buys coming through. Scrunky lurks through connector, hoping some sort of miracle to head his way. 30 seconds. He's not really going to find anything though. Maybe he can take out the player CT. Excuse me, as he pushes forward. The smoke is going to give him some cover, so he could get the bomb plant here. Snatchy might just push through, and it does pull him off the plant. But Snatch Scrunk, he'll get the kill. The nade from Fiku is good. I thought he might have gone a bit too far there. But he'll get it on the mark, and it will be AGO staying alive for a little bit longer. 3 players alive as well is sort of the minimum you'd want to have a bit of cash building up in reserve on that CT side. AGO, they have another chance here. Second wind almost. Can they capitalize on it? That's the question. As AGO not able to find an initial frag like they did, an initial advantage like they did in the last round. No aggression through mid this time. There's a much more calm, much more sedated round from the alternate attack side, hoping that AGO will offer themselves up instead. Just under a minute on the clock. It's looking like the... Could it be the approach here for Attax? Crimbo and Crystal, the KK, together. Not for long. Crimbo's going to be left on his own. His teammate's going to regroup with the others towards mid. It looks like it could be a split towards A instead. Or maybe not so much of a split. Maybe just a push through connector towards A. Although the bomb is going to head through short instead. It's going to be the crunch towards A. They are full of tricks, alternate attacks, but it can't be enough to win them this round. With 20 seconds on the clock, they start their approach. Utility coming through. Furlan could just hold mouse 1 to find a couple kills towards the apartments. Instead, he'll catch Crimbo dropping down. Can't quite get the second. Has to pull out the USB. Crystal, he's on the flank, but it might be too little too late as his teammate's struggling to get that bomb planted. He will find the player towards the market, but 4 seconds, they're not on the plant. Fiku's won the round by staying alive in towards the apartments, and it is going to be 14 now for Asia. One more required. One more chance for alternate attacks to close it out in OT. But before OT, rather. Close it out in regulation, I should say. But AGO, you can see we're just that one play surviving the previous round. Furlan, he's left with just an MP9. Do have that AK saved for DQ, but he's panicked with the opening shot. Snatchy gives himself up early. The aggressive push through mid, that's not going to work out for him. Sprunk's only got a deagle, just to know. So that's limited weaponry for alternate attacks as well. This aggression from AGO should serve them up a lot of intel about what's going on here. They're going to push through the palace, not spot anything in that direction. And, oh no, Stefan throws a Molotov at his teammate's back. Crimbo does step into it, but the MP9 from Furlan is good for the kill. The initial defense towards B is mopping them up. Furlan, he's doing God's work with the MP9. Now his teammates rotating, and eventually he will get dropped. But it's now just Scrunk and Panic's a 2v3 to try and close this first map down. They're going to try and go for the bomb plant. Scrunk is left with just 20 HP. This nade could finish him off. It doesn't go deep enough. Reitz offers Scrunk a second life, a second chance. Biku's going to be pushing in through the apartments, though. Sneaking in behind them. That Molotov may make things difficult for the alternate attack side. Reduces the positioning for them to utilize. And as Panic's tried to go aggressive, he'll get caught out. Skrunk's all that remains. And he's not going to do it. It is going to be overtime. AGO, they find 3 in a row here to close it. And to push it towards the OT. Alternate attacks, they had the chances. But ultimately, on AGO's map pick, they do come down swinging at the end. What is it about me and OTs? Give me an O. Oh. Give me a T. T. What does it spell? OT. Lovely. We do just wait for the OT to go live. I'm just gonna. It was the other map going on as well. Anonymo versus Sprout, and it looks like. I'll just double check. Sprout picked up the first map of Nuke against Anonymo, 16-10. So, just a little score update from the other side of things. But we'll be surely focused on this matchup here, AGO versus alternate attacks. As it is Mirage, it is going to be overtime, and we are just waiting for it to get going. I assume some players maybe getting themselves a drink, getting themselves ready for this second chance to close out the game, I suppose. Alternate attacks had a few chances in the first half. AGO took them away. We should be getting going in a moment. to head ourselves through. It is MR3 16k. Which means 3 rounds a half. And we switch over, and it is 16k start money on both sides of the half. So you can buy to your heart's content, pretty much. No worries about running out of cash if you go for a double up setup early on. Even if you're not able to pick up the rounds, you've got plenty of cash to play with. And now, like Furlan might be able to get himself a pick here with this AWP. Boosted in to look through the apartments. The utility. Gonna block his line of sight, and instead he'll decide to go aggressive. Courageous with the AWP. Eventually the first kill does come through, and it's courtesy of Snatchy. Fiku will assist with another. AGO finding themselves a couple opening kills in this round, which is very nice to see considering they've been on the back foot for the entirety of the game. They've not had to lead once so far in this game. It has been, I mean, it's been tied a few times, but Alternate Attacks have been the ones in control. They were the ones at 15. They were the ones who had 3 chances to close it down. And, I mean, Snatchy will pick up another. Crystal's nade is going to find retribution for that one. And it's a little too late. I think he'll end the round with 30 seconds on the clock. And looks like they're not really sure what to do. There's no real good options. They're going to try pushing in towards the window. 15 seconds. It's going to have to be a very quick hit towards the A site. Crimbo does get the first. He's quickly traded out. 10 seconds. Viku just buying time and eventually gets the kill. Once he knows that there's not enough time for Crystal to fall back and plant that bomb. As AGO, this is their first lead now. 16 to 15 for them. First to 19 will win out this map. If it goes 18-18, we do it all over. Another OT for us to indulge on. No worry. For the Alternate Attack side, they have enough cash to buy up, obviously. There's a 16k start money. Snatchy. See, those few bullets do go whizzing over his head. Stefan almost collected himself a freebie. Attax, he's trying to push forwards, but with the AWP, can he find the shot? No, he can't. Attax trying to clear out the sandwich. Gets caught by Dark. And that gives up another opening for AGO. 2 rounds in a row now they found it in OT. Can they convert this one as well? Sure, the AGO side definitely feel like they can. There is 2 players in defense of this A side. It still reads in towards Dark. Has Fiku for support, who pushes a little bit further forward towards the triple boxes to provide some cover for his teammates. And that's a very quick shot from Grimbo. Annihilates Fiku. Trying to find a follow-up and will deal a killing blow to Reitz as well. Meanwhile, Ralen's been dropped, but Snatchy's still here kicking. Trying to find shots, trying to find damage for AGO, but he's still in a deficit. It's a 2-on-3, and it's the double AWPs that need to try and find an equalizing kill here. Bomb not yet planted, and it's not going to be. Furlan. He'll take him down on the cross. That's Stefan to fall. Now Snatchy might try and find inroads himself. Spot Skrunks looking the wrong way. And these AWPs, they're making life so very difficult for Alternate Attacks. 10 seconds is all they have now. It's only Crimbo. And it's not even Crimbo anymore. Snatchy will take him down. And AGO, they find 17. This CT side of overtime looking great. They did lose out in the initial hit there towards the A site. But those double AWPs, they play that one beautifully, limiting so many angles that Alternate Attacks could play with. I'm surprised. Once they got the first player over the cross, they didn't just chuck the bomb instead of trying to cross with the second player. Maybe wanting to try and hold connector for a push to provide support. But ultimately, it doesn't work out for the Alternate Attack side. This position, he's going to be gifted a frag because of it. I'm not sure if Furlan knew he was there, but he'll definitely call that out to his teammates now. Rarland's going to try and hold for the push. A little bit of damage inflicted, but no kill found. As it's an even 4-on-4. Crimbo open this up. Find him good fortune as Rarland. He's going to push forward. It forces Stefan off the bomb. Plans his teammate falls, but the refrag is there. They'll keep things even. A minute on the clock. And with Snatchy over towards short, that Molotov will give up his position, but it does force Stefan out wide, not into the hands of Snatchy. Instead, it's Panics who finds a kill, Reeds to fall. It's almost Snatchy to fall as well. 14 HP will eventually get caught on alternate attacks. They do find a 16th, just about there. At the end of the first half of this first OT. The second half going to be coming up shortly. For the XCOM AGO side, it is the lead as they switch over towards the T side. The attacking side, well, alternate attacks, they'll try their hand at the defense. That sounded a bit weird, didn't it? But alternate attacks will now be on the defense, is what I meant. Hopefully we'll be getting going in just a moment. Don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. At a very entertaining match. I've been blessed by the Esea gods for some very, very interesting games so far. Yesterday we had, yesterday we had Windstrike versus Apex. My memory eventually comes back to me. Windstrike versus Apex, and that was an absolute barn burner in the first two maps. The last map of Mirage a little bit lacking, as it was Windstrike who closed it out in the end. But Apex actually almost won that series out 2-0 on Overpass. They had a very, very strong game. But XCOM AGO, they are hoping to close out Mirage themselves here. 2 rounds required in the second half of OT. Alternate attacks, they need all 3 to find themselves at 19. A little bit of basic maths. XCOM AGO. They go for a double AWP setup on the T side. Interesting. Reeds. He's positioned over with Rarland. Oh, sorry, with Snatchy to try and just lock down the B side of the map, make sure that alternate attacks aren't going to go for any aggressive pushes. And the rest of the team just feel out, see what alternate attacks may be doing. Now, alternate attacks, they may be giving up a frag here. Fiku might catch Crimbo. A key player goes down for the alternate attack side. He tries to push in towards the palace and gets caught out for it. XCOM AGO biding their time. It works out for them. And now the hit towards the A site going to come through. But Crystal, that's a good drop to find. It's actually Skrunk who found the first, but he follows up to a second. Skrunk's going to keep on fighting. 30 seconds on the clock, and it's all up to Snatchy and Rarland. A man disadvantage for them to try and fight through. As Rarland's going to start pushing his way through Connector. They have a little bit of time to play with, but not much that they can take it for granted. Snatchy, huge shot on the AWP. He almost collects onto a second player through the edge of the triple box as well there. He's brought it into a 2-on-2. It's double AWPs for alternate attacks and a beautiful flashbang that Rarland will utilize to clear out CT. Leaves it all up towards Panic. So 1v2 to try and deny XCOM AGO the map point here. He works his way forward. I'm not sure if that step was heard. I feel like it definitely was, as Rarland He'll take the peak. Panic's looking the other way. And there's going to be AGO up to 18. Now, there's going to be AGO. Map point for them. Opening kill for Skrunk. But it's traded out by Fiku. Verland's going to be able to find another, and this push towards mid for Ra might be able to catch the rotations. Crystal towards the site. He's looking for kills. He's found two. Might be able to save his team, but not quick enough for a third. A 2-on-2 ensues, and Crimbo, he has positioning towards the B site. But it looks like the bomb is going to be falling away. Raland's got so much space towards the A site. He might be able to catch out Panics here. Who's going to be looking the other way with the AWP. Knife out. Raland secures the kill. But now look what's happening. Reitz is heading back towards the B site, but Crimbo, he has his knife out trying to rotate over. And the game of rotations works out in XCOM AGO's favour as they do fight back and close out their map pick of Mirage. It was Alternate Attax who had the lead the entire way up until overtime. And that's when AGO found their footing, found their form, and fought back to take the dub here. We'll be back in a short moment with the second map, so don't go anywhere. You're sure to want to see... You'll be sure to want to see... Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. You'll be sure... You're sure to want to see... Words. You want to see this next map and see whether AGO can close it out in two, or whether Alternate Attax will fight back and force us to a third map decider of Vertigo. But next up, it is Inferno. Join us in a few minutes.